Our mission is to inspire, educate, and motivate young people across the Caribbean. This is the Vision Seekers podcast, where views collide, founded by Amanda Webley and Shawala Richards during the COVID-19 pandemic. But VSP is more than two. We are a team dedicated to seeking out and presenting solutions to the problems that matter to you through open and honest conversations. Stay tuned.
Student Survival Guide, COVID-19 edition. Excellence is not a skill, it is an attitude. Ralph Marston.
Friday, March 13, 2020, marked the first day of a strange time for Jamaican students. With the spread of the coronavirus came the closure of all schools across our nation. It's been over a year and still we remain online. I am Amanda Webley, second-year MBBS student at UWI Mona, and your host for our discussion on learning in the COVID-19 era. With me are two shining stars, also from university. Please introduce yourselves, Dominic and Shamaya.
Hello, good afternoon to everyone, or good evening. My name is Dominic. I am a third-year student at the UWI. I'm completing a degree, a major in economics and a minor in computer science.
Good day, everyone. My name is Shamaya Haywood, and I am currently a finalizing student at the University of the West Indies, Mona, and I am majoring in medical physics.
All right, so today they're here to give us their take on how best to go about doing school and doing school well from home. Thank you for coming, guys. Let's get into the questions. Shamoya, have you had any previous experience doing classes online?
No, I haven't. To be honest, this is my first time doing school online, and I believe many of us can attest to this.
Same for you, Dominic? First time?
Well, no, it's not my first time. I, among maybe most of our listeners here today, have been studying remotely for about 2 years. So it's not the first time.
Right. What would you say is the most challenging part of moving from face-to-face to school life on speed? Dominic, let's start with you.
Sure. So definitely the transition from face-to-face learning to online school, it was not hard for me. I remember calling my mom when I was living on all, and I was telling her that I would have to go home due to the whole pandemic outbreak, and that I would have to be home, and that we would be studying remotely online. It has not been hard because it has been easier, but in the regard of the sacrifice of not seeing my friends.
So you're saying that studying online is easier than studying face-to-face for you?
Well, personally for me, definitely in a sense.
Wow.
All right, let me show you how it is for me. Personally speaking, for me, it was good in a sense because what made it good for me and what made it great for me was the fact that I have my mom, and she encourages me to study every day.
Wouldn't you still have your mom to encourage you at face-to-face classes?
Pardon?
You wouldn't have your mom still encouraging you at your face-to-face classes, like
well,
what makes it different online?
No problem. Definitely would answer that. Okay, so what happened is that when I was actually living on hall, I normally before let's backtrack a little bit, going back to high school. When I was in high school, definitely for sixth form, I wasn't really living around my mom. I was living around my dad. He encourages me to study as well and everything like that. But before then, it was always my mom helping me and pushing out the best into me to make sure that I focus, make sure that I do my work diligently and everything like that. But being on campus at school in the absence of my parents and everyone, just being at school, I would actually my skills of focus will tilt towards socializing with my friends on campus, going to parties, going to events, on block events, hall events, and not really paying much of an attention from school. I would do good in school and everything like that, yes, but
the issue would not be face-to-face classes, it would be boarding.
Right. So the absence of boarding and me being on campus definitely had tilted me. But now being at home, the skills have changed. Definitely I am home in the comfort of my own home, as stated before. And definitely now my mom is there behind me 100% of the time to encourage me to study and to bring out the best part of me in school and to bring out the best in me. But just to answer the question specifically that you asked, definitely what was the hardest part of for me was the lack of socializing with my friends on campus, being at home, conforming to actually reaching out to my friends online, not seeing them, missing them. That's a hard part of me. But with studying online, definitely it's great because I have my mom here to encourage me to do well. And that's a very good thing. We need those types of encouragement and
Of
rigor,
course.
for me personally speaking.
Yeah. Always need that support from our family and friends. Shamoya, same question. What's the most challenging part of moving from face-to-face classes to school online for you?
Okay then. All right. So for me, it wasn't hard, but it was challenging, to be honest. Because as a person who always prepare for anything, because I like to be organized, and we know that Corona came so suddenly, and many of us, we didn't knew that the time would have been so close for us to come back home. So for me, it was a case in which I had to readjust my mental capacity. It was hard to be focused as well, because being around the family, of course, you there's stress over schoolwork and family out do enjoy themselves.
So it's the opposite for you. That's so funny because somebody keeps saying it's glad to be around his family at home because they're the ones who push him to focus in school. But you're saying that because you're around your family now, you're distracted. You're more distracted than you would be at face-to-face classes.
Yes, and kind of no, but anyways, yes, I have a good family support, but because of how my family is, we are like that close knitted, so we're always discussing stuff together and all of that. But when I said that, I had to prioritize being focused and disciplined when it comes to that. So I had to change my entire schedule and said, okay, then it's no longer a time to be comfortable or to become distracted. So I had to do some stuff just to keep me on track that, okay, remember that you have school and you have to remain focused and you have to look towards the goal and accomplish what needs to be accomplished.
You
So
said that you do some stuff like what is your study area like? Your setup when you're having classes online.
for me, all right, this is the thing, right? Because I have siblings, so it's quite a challenge with the internet, especially, and we all can relate to that because we don't say flow and digital them the 100%, right? So for me, what I try to do is that I try to attend my classes, especially the tutorials, because you know that grades are allotted to tutorials and sometimes they have presentations. And I try to be present at my classes during the day, but I am more like a night person. So during the night when peace and quiet and Wi-Fi flow good, that is me beating the book and like watching over the recordings and making notes. So yeah, I had to readjust. I had to change up some stuff, and so far it is working perfectly fine for me.
All right, so glad to hear that. So still on your Shamoya, do you think that there are any advantages to school online?
I would say yes, because for some persons it was quite a challenge for them to be at school physically and then to work. So for some persons that's an advantage. For me, what would I say? No, for me, it is good because you are in your own little space and environment and you are comfortable. At least I know that, okay, then I don't have to be waking up early in the morning to take bus to go by UE, because of course some persons have to some persons don't rent and some persons don't live on hours, some persons have to travel. So that is right for right now the situation that we are in, that is really an advantage to have school online.
So you cut transportation costs.
Yes, definitely. And rent fee and all of that, because that was costly.
All right.
So yeah.
Dominic, we're bringing you into the conversation here. Do you think there are any
Sure.
advantages to school online?
Well, very good question. Definitely, Amanda. So there are advantages to school online. It actually creates a way for us to actually do something else while being at school. Taking instance for me, the whole pandemic, the whole COVID-19 pandemic and the recession that is going on in the economy right now has made finances for us very difficult to attain, to come by. And so definitely I had to resort to actually getting a job while doing school, and so to help me out with my finances.
Wait. School
Sure.
plus work, like part-time, full-time? Hold on.
um
What is it?
sure, it is full-time work, to be honest with you. And I will get to you to tell you exactly how is that going. I will tell you exactly how is that going on. But
Wow.
definitely, let me just state the advantages first.
Yeah,
Um,
correct.
sure, definitely, in answering your question, regards to the advantages of school, think about it this way, to be very honest. While I do not have to be in the class physically, right? Well, online, I can actually visit the recordings at night when I
Oh, you
do
mean
have
live when you're stepping to
right.
yeah. Okay.
Right. And so definitely I can work in the days and actually do my recordings, studying my recordings in the nights, or whenever my shift changes. Definitely when I am available, I can actually do my work. But it eases the pressure off of the persons who I depend on, definitely, so I can find out a way for myself. It actually brings forward a sense of responsibility as a young adult for us to learn how is the work world and to know how hard it is. Definitely. Gonna be honest with you, life is not easy. Definitely, the higher you go is the more difficult it gets. But definitely with school and everything, there is an advantage. I can actually do that. I can actually go to recordings, because think about it this way also. Another advantage, point number two, when I was actually on UE campus, on going to attending physical classes, I wasn't able to revisit recordings, to watch over recordings, unless I would request from my lecturer if I could actually record the session by virtue of using sound recorder on my mobile device. But and that's not a guarantee for every lecture class that you go into. So definitely what guarantees me now in actually doing well is the fact that, hey, we can always revisit recordings. We can always go over a concept that we do not understand, and to actually rewrite notes, re-listen again, reacquaint ourselves with new information. Being with technology at our fingertips, as in the computer, we have Google, we can research a concept that we do not understand. Not saying that we couldn't do it while at physical classes, but it has become more easier, and it has become the norm. And so definitely it is easier in the fact that I do not have to attend classes while they are going on. I can watch my recordings and rewatch them, definitely, to understand a concept, to link with my friends and to link with my groups. Point number three, to link with people, form study groups, and create breakout sessions in Oriurville and Zoom sessions with my peers. We have never met most of the persons that I've met in the most of the
Yeah,
persons that
but you're saying that
right.
online you'd have study groups, but in person, face to face, you still have those study groups. Wouldn't it be easier face to face to form those study groups, those same study groups there
That
is
is
now?
would it be easier to form those study groups?
Yes, wouldn't it be easier?
Well, in a regard, yes, it would be easier. But at the end of the day, personally speaking, even though it is easier, there are always structural differences between them, and you will get that. In other words, that's just the understanding. That's just the cause and effect of it, definitely. So when it comes to me now and actually being going to classes, well, not classes, study groups online instead of physical, it
Right.
still achieves the same purpose in the sense that, hey, I'm meeting with a group of persons who hopefully are like-minded like me. We can study together, accept each other facts and opinions about a particular concept, learn and mesh together and grow together to actually get a good grade on our exams, on our finals and everything. So it does still achieve the same purpose, even though there are structural differences between face-to-face and online classes. But that's an advantage in and of itself. It really creates accessibility at your fingertips with the whole technology and everything integrated. And it's easier to revisit concepts and not be in class at the moment of lecture, and to revisit concepts and relearn and everything like that. Definitely.
The people want to know, how do you balance school and work?
Very good question. Definitely. So 24 hours in a day. I'm going to be honest with you.
Plus
I've been
study
working.
groups, because you're in study groups too.
Oh, study groups? All right. Very good question. All right, no problem. I'm gonna explain it to you. Definitely. So, all right, as it comes to definitely 24 hours in a day, I have to budget out how well I have to organize how my day is going along. I have been working since May of this year. That's after my finals in the previous semester. I took up a job, started working from there on then until now. It's the first time I'm actually working full-time while doing school full-time. And it's, trust me, it's hectic. Just to answer the question that you're saying, that you've asked me today, 24 hours in a day, 10 hours at work, call center, that is IBEX Ocherius, 12 hours, 10 hours at work, 1 hour to get to work and 1 hour to come from work. That's 12 hours already, half of a day taken up in work. 8 hours left back to sleep, because we need our sleep for 8 hours per day, and just 4 hours after that, 12 and 8, 24 hours for myself.
What's not the thing? Sorry.
No, 4 hours is not enough, especially especially when you're actually doing a major in econ and a minor in computer science. No, what I have
Double
to
major.
do, it's not a double major, it's a minor, but I really want to go forward to do a double major. Maybe in going forward as time goes by, but I'm just focusing on actually doing the courses as time goes by, reduced term. But I won't comment on that just now. But just on the essence of how to balance school and work, 8 hours to sleep, 4 hours for myself every day, 12 hours to work. I have to sacrifice my sleep by decreasing the amount of times that I sleep and increasing the amount of times that I study. And so definitely it has an effect on me. It has reaped its effects on me. I remember going at work, and last week, Friday was my last work day, and I had to spend 10 hours at work, as you know, and I was only able to work 4. I had to request from my supervisor at home early because of the fact that I was actually mentally drained. Definitely. So I went home early, had to study and everything like that. Got up this morning doing some work, because today is actually my day off. Tomorrow I have work again. Managing school and work. My labs in computer science, they are mandatory. The attendance is mandatory every Wednesday and every Saturday. So I have to request from my supervisor every single day, my managers, to actually have those days off. And so it's not a must that it works, but thank God my manager is actually a person that actually went to UE and recently graduated. So they understand that they are working with me to see how best, because they know I do good in the workplace. They know that I'm actually a very, very good employee. And so definitely they try to work out things in my accord. But notwithstanding that, not to comment on that, balancing work and school has been a very hectic experience. I'm still hanging in there. I'm still doing my studies. I'm still trying my best to focus on doing what I have to do. And sometimes going forward, maybe, my mom will always say, if you want good, your nose have to run. In other words, you have to go through blood, sweat, and tears to actually achieve what you want to achieve in life. And it comes with great sacrifice. And so definitely, whereas it concerns sacrifice of sleep, maybe starting to do some drugs or something to keep up myself. I am not sure, but definitely
I have to there. We don't encourage.
No,
I
then
don't know what
no
you're
further
talking
comments on
about.
that, but
Not at all.
Don't encourage that.
we're not encouraging that, but still, um, great sacrifice.
It's a good
I think
team, man.
I think the drug that you would need is the fact that, hey, the drug that you would be taking is that, hey, the thing that you're doing now will pay off in the future. So focus on the
The
bright side of
goal,
things in the
right?
future, the
Right.
goal of it all. And the goal itself is the
Motivator,
only drug that will actually keep
right?
you up and keep you going. So definitely the goal is it. Not a chemical drug or nothing like
Yeah.
that. We're not going to that.
I'm
Or
glad you
hopefully it is
clarified on that. All
definitely.
right, Shamoya. So going back to you, Dominic mentioned being mentally drained and not being able to socialize being the biggest disadvantage, drawback to school online. Is that the same for you? And what are the coping mechanisms that you take on to solve those? Not being able to
Okay.
socialize.
All right. So for me, socialization, well, when it comes to socializing with my friends, that's an issue for me because sometimes, as to what Dominic said, some persons are working and doing school at the same time. Some persons probably working only, and some persons have some stuff for them to face. So we don't really get to converse as often as possible. But when it comes to socializing, I know COVID too, so you're not gonna really mix and mingle like one time. So because of that, now what I try to do is that I try to keep up with my friends because of course we're all in this phase and sometimes persons needs motivation. So I try to keep up with my friends by like calling them or just checking up on them, probably not as often as possible, but I still make an effort to do it because it really matters. So now with coping with mental, like when you're drained
Mentally,
mentally,
yeah.
yes, I like to write. Sometimes I write poems or quotes or whatever. And don't quote me on this, Me can't draw like that, but I can't do look at something with the painting. So if it's gonna make me feel mentally better mentally, well, I am going to do it. So I try to go all out when it comes to
Expressing
um
yourself with hobbies.
yes,
Yeah.
because to be honest, I am not a person who likes to be in one environment forever, and this feels like forever. So we have to do what we have to do to ensure that we keep mentally intact. Because trust me, there are a lot of young persons who are mentally struggling, and it is not easy sometimes when you are doing school and you have to be sitting around the laptop or on your phone every day for quite some hours. So you have to find something in between and do. You have to try and balance in such a way that at the end of the day, your mental being is not being left out. So that is really what I do to keep myself active, not to focus on the whole situation that is happening right now. So yeah, that's me.
For the people listening who are struggling to make connections online, can you give them some tips on how you go about making those new connections um, with your classmates?
Okay, so for me now, all right, so just be true to yourself, right? If you know that you are struggling, because of course, because people think that being online or studying online, you are left all alone. No, really and truly, so persons are in the same situation as you, but they won't know unless you say, right? So, like, even though with some first years, like they don't know anybody, just try and reach out to somebody where you say, I try to do something, right? Because as what I'm saying, energy don't lie, but sometimes it lie in a but. I mean, in this case. So persons who seems as if they have that zeal to try and accomplish something, like even in the WhatsApp groups, try and reach out to them and let them know that, hey, I am struggling in this area of a topic or a lab or something. Trust me, everybody, as what I said, everybody is in the same situation. Some persons may be selfish enough, but trust me, you will find some persons who are willing to help. So when it comes to making connections, just try and reach out to persons. Don't be afraid because, hey, in this time, so it's as to what I said, first year students especially, and even second year students know, because we're in this whole online school for 2 years. College are going 2 years. So never be afraid to reach out to persons and say, would you mind if we can just probably make a WhatsApp call and you explain stuff to me if you are available, and try to be understanding as best as possible, because some persons are very busy. As to what Dominic says, he works along with doing school at the same time. So it is, at the end of the day, you know the goal that you want to accomplish. So if the person said, okay, then I won't be available for 10 o'clock in the morning, right? You want to help, nobody go cuss and say, look how me I look the help and whatever. You can just propose another time in which it can work for the person, because at the end of the day, you want to do well and you want to accomplish what is there to be accomplished. So try to be as understanding as best as possible, and just ensure that you have this spirit of willingness. So you are not selfish. If somebody help you, and if the person message you and say, can you help me with this? Nobody say, no, sir, I'm not help her because I even know it's a girl, but he just want to help me one time. No, just try and help her, because we all struggling at some point and we all needs help at some point. So that is
together,
just
yes.
Yes.
Right. I agree 100%. On to our next question. Dominic, this one is for you. How do you stay focused now that you have to be on the internet 24/7? Well, not 24/7 for you. For classes. When you have TikTok and you have Instagram and you have YouTube, all the distractions.
Very good.
One tab away, just click a new tab and you have the background music being your lecturer talking.
Okay, no problem. Very good question. All right. You see, focus is such a personal thing. It's unique for everyone because everyone focuses in many different ways. But there is an essence of focusing. It's about putting your mind and your body and everything, your spirit, towards one thing and one concept and trying to get the best result out of it. Think about it this way. 24 hours in a day for me, 12 hours at work on a computer as well. I'm not able to log into OURVLA because that's a CSOS device, completely locked off. I am unable to CSOS. I am not sure what it is, but that's the term that they give it.
All right.
Yes, so you're only able to do the work that is given to you on the computer and only browse, but you're not able to go into anything and read about anything or go on OURVLA or watch classes while you're at work. Nothing like that. Besides the point, 8 hours to sleep, 4 hours for myself. 4 hours for myself is not enough. What is my goal in life? I need to graduate with a first class honors in computer science and economics. That's my goal. I want that because I have plans for myself after, and I need to do well so that I can matriculate to the next step. 4 hours is all that I'm given. How best can I capitalize on this 4 hours for myself? Should I conform to listening to music and wasting time or talking to my family or anything like that? I talk to my family, I say, hey, how was my day? It was good. Back to studying. I am a very, very, very busy person, 24/7. I always have something to do. And so definitely I have to be there to say to myself, 4 hours is all that I'm given. If I have more hours, I have to sacrifice sleep. That's crazy. But at the end of the day, still, I have to accomplish what I have to accomplish. I have to organize my time and say, this is what I need to do. I have to set a timetable, which I am yet to do, but I need to. But I have to set a quota to say, this is the thing that I want to study for today, and I need to complete this chapter by today. Going into it, reading it actively, going over the concepts and everything like that, focusing intensely on it. That's my goal. Also, I would confirm to listen to music. I love classical music. I love all kinds of music, depending on the mood that I am in. All types of music. But I immerse myself into studying, sit around the table, with a chair, with the computer with the computer on the desk, with my book, reading the chapters, revising what it is saying, my understanding about it, rewriting the notes in my book, reading it again, making cue cards. Next step that I really want to do is while I'm at work, I have the cue cards and maybe even get an earphone so that I can listen to my work and my recordings, like me voice recording about a particular concept or reading about things that I'm seeing in my book while listening it onto my way to work. That's how I get focused, because I have to juice every opportunity from that 4 hours that I have for myself. But it's so far so good. I am really behind, but not that behind. I'm like a class behind, but I'm in there doing what I need to do, keeping myself focused through extreme organization.
Love to hear that. All right. Shamoya, this thing, we don't know when it's going to end. COVID, online school, right? So what do you think the future for education is in Jamaica? Do you think there's going to be like a blended approach where even if you go back face to face, the classes may be recorded to facilitate people like Dominic who would need to work and access those classes later?
Well, I believe that having a blended classroom or a blended education system, if I can put it like that, it would be good, because not everybody is able to access Wi-Fi. Because trust me, I have some rural areas where not even lights needed, right? So like, just speaking on behalf of everybody, like looking ahead. So some persons even though aren't able to get access to any internet, neither any technology. So having a blended, how should I put it? Anyways, so having a blended classroom or education system, anyways, so that would be beneficial for everybody, because some persons really and truly do enjoy online classes, while some persons don't, probably psychological reasons too, because as what I said, it's not everybody is able to sit around a technology for hours and not get mentally stressed, right? So I believe the way forward is to have a blended system.
So like take the best of both online and face-to-face classes, and then have like a new normal, let's say.
Yeah, I would say that.
Okay.
Just looking at the benefits.
So last thing, if the listeners were listening to anything this whole episode, what's one thing Dominic and Shamoya want them to keep in mind to survive school online? And to do well in school, because we all want to do well in school.
Okay, so I will go first, right? So just ensure that if you're a person who is not like so 100% on being organized, try new methods. You can try and set a study timetable where you incorporate all your study sessions and like daily activities or goals that you want to accomplish, right? And also, I would encourage people or persons to ensure that you keep a track of everything that is going on, right? So when I say keep a track, ensure that you know where you stand in your assignments. Don't wait until last minute to study, or don't procrastinate and waste the majority of the time and say, yeah man, I have time left. No, time not wait for nobody. Time not waiting on anybody. So just ensure that you keep a record of what needs to be done. And at this age, I mean, like becoming a young adult or being a young adult, try and be disciplined. So even if I don't remember what needs to be done, write it down. Get a nice little notebook and write it down. And ensure that you tick off. You set a goal for a certain time frame, and you tick off as you go along so that you won't miss anything. And most importantly, prioritize your mental health. Find some time for yourself. It's not all about working. It's not all about school. Although, yes, you have priorities, but remember, say, if your mentality gone down the drain, everything else gone down the drain with it. So just prioritize your mentality. So that's all that I want to advise you guys on. So you can go ahead, Dominic.
1 point, Dominic.
Sure,
Short
definitely.
and fine.
Definitely, in the interest of time, definitely extreme organization is very important, especially in this time. The only thing that I would like to say is that, guys, whatever it is, in the pandemic, there are more things to focus on. There is a lot of things that is going on in the economy, and there is a lot of things going on with health and how to protect yourself and everything like that. And it's imperative, guys, that you learn how to prioritize and organize your time and to safeguard yourself from everything that is going on. Prioritize and focus intensively on what it is that you would like to achieve. Put your mind and your body at it and make the best time out of the small time that is given to you on a daily, and make sure that you excel at what you do. It's very easy, but it's hard at the same time.
And
Awesome.
you've heard it, folks, from the leaders of tomorrow, the vision speakers of today. We hope you learned something new today. To recap, as it concerns school online, managing your time is most important. But making and strengthening bonds is equally as important. We need the support during school, in person, and now that we are in a pandemic and we are moved online, it is more important than ever. Always remember, you are not alone. Until next time, God good.
This has been an episode of the Vision Seekers podcast. Together we can create a society that benefits us all. Send us an email at thevisionseekers.podcast@gmail.com. Find us on YouTube and Instagram at The Vision Seekers Podcast, and follow us on Twitter at Vision Seekers JA. We look forward to hearing from you.